Guys, today I am doing a review on the new Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture Palette. I am so excited to be doing this because, as you guys know, Modern Renaissance is one of my all-time favorite palettes. Anastasia shadows are next level good. They're so unbelievably beautiful and pigmented, and they do have quite a bit of fallout, but we'll talk all about that in just a moment. So in this video, I am going to talk about the palette, price per shadow. I'm also going to do swatches and a tutorial and my full review after I use it. Anyway, on to the ABH Subculture review. This palette retails for $42. I did the math and that makes each shadow $3 because there are 14 shades in this palette. If you compare that to normal Anastasia single pan eyeshadows, those are $12 a piece and they have 1.7 grams of product in them. Each of these eyeshadows has 0.7 grams of product. So these are a better deal than going with the individual shadow pans. There are 13 new shades in here. There's one that's been used before, and that's the color Fudge. These are the colors. This is the one that's not new. It does come with a little brush, so if you don't have a lot of brushes, then you can use this little guy that comes in here. I typically don't tend to. I just don't find those to be my favorite. But everything else is new, which is super cool. I love it when a brand will come out with a new palette and they put all new shades in because I know that it's not something I'm gonna have duplicates of. Modern Renaissance is the warm sister palette to this. As you can see, this is more grungy. To me, this palette really makes me feel reminiscent of the 70s. I don't know if you guys feel that as well, but it's very 60s and 70s. It's very retro, and I think that's what they were going for with this. And if that is the case, they did a really good job. The shades they picked just remind me of like a retro carpet, or do you know what I mean when I say that? I really like the shades. I didn't think I would, but there's this beautiful mustard, there's that awesome mossy green, there's that cool powder deep blue. I'm really digging these colors right now. I'm going to get into swatches of the palette. If you guys are unaware of how I do my swatches, I have sort of taken in the footsteps of Stephanie Nicole, who does beautiful in-depth reviews, and they're my favorite. So the way she does swatches is that she swirls her finger around, she does a finger swatch, and then next to it she does a brush swatch. In between each brush swatch, she cleans her brush off with the Veramona color switch, which is basically this little wheel of weirdness that you can swirl your brush around into, and it knocks off all the excess powder so you can switch between colors with no mixing of the shades. I'm not going to press excessively hard, and I'm not going to try to make it look better than it is or worse than it is. I'm just going to do it the same as I always do. I'll do 2 live swatches for you so you can see how I'm doing it, and then I will go straight into the row swatches. So let's get started. I've said this in every review and I'll say it again. I think swatches are a terrible way to tell if a product is good or not, because some products swatch awfully and they perform well. Some products swatch beautifully and they perform like shit. So we're gonna start off with Cube. Weird. Dawn. Destiny. So here are swatches of the first row. We have Cube, Dawn, Destiny, Adorn, All-Star, Mercury, and Axis. This one here is the finger swatch. This is brush, finger, brush, finger, brush. They swatch pretty well. This one swatches like awfully, you can't even see it, but I feel like over the top of an eyeshadow would be pretty because it's a really pretty duochrome. I don't know if you can see. Nope, you sure can't. As you can see, they have a ton of kickback. Kickback is when you dip your brush into the product and it leaves that powdery finish on the top. That basically is a very soft shadow, but a very fallouty shadow as well. So this is a look I should have done my eyes first. Of course, I already did my foundation, concealer, and powder, so yay! All right, so this is the second row. We've got Roxy Electric, which swatches like 27 bags of dicks. Fudge, New Wave, Untamed, Edge, and Rowdy. The matte shades in this palette, they literally feel like no other shadows I've ever touched my finger into. They are so soft. They are the softest shadows ever. This shows you just how much kick up, and that's just me swirling my finger. It's quite kick uppy. Because I use Anastasia shadows often, I know that these are going to have a mass amount of fallout for me. So I'm going to pack powder underneath my eyes in case anything falls out onto my cheeks, which I know it will. And then I can brush it all away and not have any issues. It makes my under eyes look a little more dry, but I should have thought of this beforehand. I'm an idiot. So first, I think I'm going to start off with the shade Dawn here, which is a matte creamy sort of shade. I'm just throwing this down as a transition shade. Ooh, that's really pigmented. More so than I anticipated. So this is worth noting. That's what it looks like when you dip into the shadow after 3 dips in with my Sigma E40. So now I'm gonna go immediately in with that new wave shade here because I want this to be very mustard colored. These aren't blending as well as I thought they might. So I definitely have some fallout down here. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm glad I put this powder down because there would have been fallout all over my face. So I'm gonna go in with the color Edge here because I want more of a yellow retro vibe. Still on my E40, I think. That's the color I was going for. This is a very interesting palette so far. I feel like the shadows aren't blending as easily as I'm used to. For some reason, I feel like Modern Renaissance blends easier than this. Like I don't have this much of an issue. I just feel like it's kind of placing the product and then, I don't know, it's like being a little bitch. See how it's kind of like doing that? I'm going with a different brush. Fuck this. I'm gonna dip into that Edge color again and go in with my Zoeva Luxe Soft Definer. The fallout is driving me nuts, man. Look how unblended this looks. The most beautiful eye look I've ever done. I purposefully have not watched any reviews. I've watched one from Jack Emery, but haven't watched any more on the Subculture palette because I don't like to be swayed. I think I'm gonna try a little bit of this purple color here. It's called Rowdy. It's maybe a huge mistake. It's almost as if I've never done makeup before, but I know how to blend. I'm struggling with why I'm struggling so hard with this. I'm gonna add in a little bit of All Star mixed in with that Rowdy just to kind of change the purple to a less cool tone. Okay, I'm gonna cut the crease with my brush so that I can do some sort of a shimmer shade on the inside or something. I don't know. I think I'm not gonna judge this so harshly because right now I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, time to take all my makeup off. I'm gonna spray with Fix Plus onto my Smith 302 I think I'm gonna try this electric shade here. This is not what I am drawn to, but I wanna just try it. All right, I'm gonna wipe away all this excess powder and then I'm gonna work on my lower lash line. So I really wanna use some of these blue shades. So I think I'm gonna go in with Untamed here. And it's not even blue, it's like the same color as the palette. And I'm gonna run that under my lower lash line. Now, because these shadows have a lot of fallout, I gotta be careful here. Now I'm gonna switch my brush and I'm gonna go into that color Destiny for the very inner corner. Oh, look what I did. I'm gonna go back in with that edge color and I'm gonna kind of run it down here. This is a fucking look. I don't know about it. So here's my area where I'm struggling. You see how this is the lack of blending right here? And I've blended that area like too much, you know? Like it shouldn't look like that with how much I've blended it. The colors are just sort of blending away and they look kind of blocky. I don't fucking understand, man. I absolutely love Anastasia shadows. That's what's weird about this, is that I feel like it's not performing like an Anastasia shadow should, which is really odd. It's just like almost difficult to blend. I don't understand. All right, I applied some black eyeliner. I'm gonna go do my lashes and mascara off camera and I will be right back and I will give you the full review on this palette and my thoughts, which are interesting. Whew, where to begin on this palette? Okay, so in the time that I have not been on and I've been doing my lipstick and all that kind of shit, I have come across a few things. I went on Twitter and I said, oh man, I definitely have some thoughts on the Subculture palette. At that same moment, Alyssa Ashley had posted a video of her putting her brush into one of the colors from the palette and hitting pan the first time she uses it. It's powdering everywhere, and if I can, I'll try to insert the video here. And so I commented on that and I said, gosh, mine is so powdery too, what the heck? I said, it's almost as if I've never done eyeshadow before. I can't blend this for shit. And she was like, me too, I've done this 3 times. I've had to redo my makeup. And then I messaged 2 people that I know have used the palette. One of them struggled the same as me. It took 2 tries to get the eyeshadow look right, and even then it was still a struggle to blend. The other one thought it was okay, but said that they did struggle with the fallout from the blue shades. So I'm making sure that I do my research, talking to multiple people and getting different opinions. And this is the conclusion I've come to. I am shocked by this palette. Subculture feels different. The shadows almost feel like they are a new formula. I don't know if they are, but they almost perform like a new formula as opposed to the other Anastasia shades I'm used to. Other Anastasia shades are almost as an in-between to the softness of a Sephora Pro versus the softness of a Makeup Geek. Makeup Geek shadows aren't too soft where they just poof away. They have some kickback when you dip into them, but they're not awful. Anastasia shadows were more kickbacky than that, but also twice as pigmented in my opinion. This palette, the pigmentation, amazing. Blendability, it took me, I want to say 30 solid minutes to do this eye look because of how hard it was for me to blend. I just struggled. I don't know why. I don't know what is going on with this, but the shadows just, they're patchy. I absolutely love ABH as a brand. I think they are amazing. I think that their products are next level. I'm so excited to try this palette. I bought it the second it launched, waited in line for 45 minutes for it online. When I finally got it, I treated the celebration on Twitter like something actually had happened in my life. And then I get it and I'm disappointed. I think the colors are beautiful. They could not have done better on the color selection, but the amount of time it took me to blend these shades, I'm just a little disappointed with. I did not expect to have any negativity towards this palette whatsoever other than kickback, because that's something I know ABH shadows to have. It's just different. I can't explain it in any other way than that I don't know how to explain it. My biggest complaint with these palettes, I just opened this today, and look how dirty it is already. Look how dirty this guy is. It's just gross. I like it and I hate it. And that is a really tough review to have. I think it's something you may need to try yourself. And I struggled hardcore on this one. I really couldn't get the edges to blend, and then when I would blend the edge, it would also blend in the middle and look like a patch. And I don't like that. I just feel like for the price, which is not that bad, $42 is a lot of money, but per shadow is actually not bad. I just think that they changed the formula or something. I don't know, did they? Did they? I feel like the ingredients are minimal. So here's the back of the palettes. Here's Subculture, obviously. Here's Modern Renaissance. Can you see how many ingredients are in these shadows? Do you see the length of ingredients and just how much is in there versus each individual shadow is just one little line? I don't know if this is the correct way to go about it, but for me, there's no way that those amounts match up. So it looks like they've simplified their formula in a way, but in the same token, that formula is more difficult to use. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but it's like, come on. Is this something I would travel with? That's like my big thing. No. But frankly, since I bought the Jaclyn Morphe palette, that's what I travel with. It's got everything I need, and if I want a pop of color, it's got it, and if I want neutral, it's got it, and if I want good shimmers, it's got it, and it's got a good formula, and it travels well. Ooh, I don't know, Anastasia, like, what the fuck? Hey guys, so it is 10:19 at night now. I've had this makeup on all day. I wanted to show how it held up throughout the day. Not great. That's the color, and that's my skin peeking through. Same on this side. The makeup world on Twitter blew the fuck up today. While I'm filming this, it is 10:20 in the evening on Saturday. I want to show you what was posted online today by ABH because Alyssa Ashley, like I talked about earlier in the video, and this was right when Alyssa posted it. During that moment when she posted that, we were DMing each other and we were talking about it and just like, what the heck's happening? Why isn't our eyeshadow blending out? And I was right in the middle of filming my video right as she was in the middle of filming hers. She had posted the video on Twitter of her rubbing her brush into the eyeshadow and already hitting pan on the first time of using the palette. Now, the internet blew up and basically told her she doesn't know how to use eyeshadow, that she obviously was using a fake palette, XYZ. Here's what Norvina had to say, who runs Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's Anastasia's daughter, Norvina, or Claudia. She posted on her Twitter, "Subculture is super pigmented. A little goes a long way. The product is drop tested by our QA before it's approved for production. Apparently people were complaining of broken palettes. It has to pass a drop test in order to ship and arrive to customers safely through the mail. Now since our mattes are pigmented, they're soft pressed within specs that pass a drop test, but not so soft that they would not pass a drop test. All production has a tiny % of leeway for random issues, defects, because nothing is perfect. That's why we have customer service who can happily replace or return a product. You can swirl a brush around over and over again to get to the bottom of a pan if you wanted to, but why would you? Regardless, the product is solid. Stuff happened and we have a good return policy when it does." I own a lot of palettes. I own maybe upwards of 20, 30 palettes. I own Modern Renaissance, and that didn't happen. These shadows are a different formula. They have to be. I think from the packaging, we can see that they in fact are. You could swirl your brush around in it all day and hit pan. It doesn't happen with my Makeup Geek shades. It doesn't happen with my other Anastasia palette that I've been using for over a year. It doesn't happen with Morphe. It happens with Subculture, and I don't know why. You can't deny that there's something weird about this palette. Is it the worst palette I've ever used? I review a lot of palettes. I just did the Sephora Pro, I did the Jaclyn palette, I did the Makeup Geek, so I'm well aware of how an eyeshadow should work. This one's just odd where when you place the product on your eye, it wants to stay exactly where you put it without a soft blended edge. Maybe I'll do a test right now. I just used the Vera Mona color switch on my Zoeva Luxe Soft Definer brush. Now I'm going to go in with 2 different shades from the ABH palette. I'm going to place the color like I would as if it were going to my crease, and I'm going to try to blend it out as best I can. My arm right here is primed with Tarte Shape Tape, all of right here. New Wave, which, as you can see, just the kick up is insane. Blending out all the edges in circular motion so I can get a nice blended edge. Really giving it the benefit of the doubt here, really buffing out those edges so we can get a nice blend. Now, I don't think I'll be able to find an exact shade, but I'm gonna go in with the Sephora Pro Palette and I'm gonna use this shade here. So to me, I don't know if you can tell the difference, and I don't know if you guys know what I mean by this, but can you see this ring here? A clear line of demarcation of where you placed the color and tried to blend it out, and then you can see it does blend, but you can still see the harsh edge, versus how this is just softly blown out. It's not perfect, it's not going to be, it's not on my eye, I'm not blending it for as long as I need to. Whereas this one, the color removes even from the center. So as I blend out the edges and blend over, it removes it from the center, the initial place that it was set down, and then it blends it out into this weirdness. You guys can see, clearly this one is more diffuse and softer. Clearly it's a different color as well, I'm well aware of that. But this one is just patchier. Let's try it with a separate color. Cleaning my brush off on the color switch, you guys can see the brush is stained, but the brush is not letting off any pigment anymore. You guys better like this shit because this is a waste of Shape Tape. I'll show you guys me putting the powder on it so you can believe that there's powder on my arm. Everyone on the internet is skeptical of everything these days. So one big thing I've heard is people hate that the fudge shade is different in this palette versus the original fudge. Well, I happen to have fudge from this new palette here and fudge from my Shadow Couture World Traveler palette, which you can see is well used. So I'm gonna dip into fudge from Subculture. Okay, I just need you to see. You can see I just dipped in like a regular person dips in. You can see how much fallout that had. So much product. And that's just me dipping like I normally dip. Now I'm gonna soften out the edges. Blend, 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 blend. You can see I am blending over the edges. It is moving my skin. I'm gonna try and blend this out even more. This is a brush I always use, by the way. I love this brush. Really, really gonna circular motion it. Try hard to blend off these edges. And you can see the exact same situation as before. Now let's try it with the Shadow Couture World Traveler palette. The fudge shades look totally different. This one on the bottom is deeper. The one on the top is lighter. Apparently they are the same shade. Dipping in the same amount. You can see there's a little bit of fallout, but not nearly as much. Totally different color. I think without me explaining too much into it, you can see which one blends better. I dipped the exact same hardness, the exact same amount into each. I'm telling you with certainty and with full honesty, I did not change how I dipped the brush into the pan. I blended the edges exactly the same on this one. Look, circular motions. This still has some other fudge on it too, so it's even gonna blend better. Circular motions. Going around the product. It does this, where it's like a ring of color, the lighter in the center, it blends patchy outward, whereas you can see this one where you place the brush initially is deepest, which is what it should be, and then it has a soft gradient that comes out from it. So anyone can try to doubt that, you know, people are having these issues, but this is the actual issue. And as you can see, it's the same shade, but a different actual color. Don't really care about that, but again. I think the real thing to keep in mind is that we're all gonna have differing experiences. I've seen some people that are like obsessed with it, some people that are really unimpressed with it, and I am on the fence. I went into this palette with really high hopes and came out of it less than happy. I know it's just a makeup palette and all of this seems so dramatic, but to me, it's people who make it dramatic when they say, well, you obviously don't know what you're doing or you're lying. Dude, we all have different experiences with things and you can clearly see the struggles that people have on camera. I spoke with multiple people. I don't want to call them out because I don't want them to be upset if I just like use their name, you know? But I talked to multiple people online today and was my friend that I was talking to, and she was using it and she was like, what the fuck? Like I just dipped my brush into it twice and I'm already almost halfway through the pan. That just doesn't happen normally. This is the Makeup Geek shade Tiki Hut. Now I'm gonna take that same brush and I'm going to dip into it the way that I do my Anastasia pans. You guys can clearly see that there is color on the brush, but as I dip into this, even if I swirl back and forth, swirl, 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 I'm like digging into this pan right now. That's as much as we get. I mean, and this brush is absolutely loaded with product right now. And there's no fallout. And these shadows are killer. They have amazing pigment. You guys know how Makeup Geek shadows work. I don't have to tell you. What are you saying then? Are you saying that, guys, because it has pigment, it's gonna have a shit ton of fallout and it's gonna break easy? Well, I beg to differ because Makeup Geek doesn't do that. Morphe doesn't do that. My Modern Renaissance didn't do that. My Sephora Pro didn't do that. And Sephora Pro are some of the creamy shadows I've ever touched. I don't know, so I don't know why it's like the excuse for this palette. Well, guys, of course it's got fallout, and of course it's breaking because it's super pigmented, and when it's pigmented, that's what happens. No. No, it isn't. It's something that I'm not gonna wanna pick up because of the hassle of it. It's a hassle. It's got so much kickback. It's so messy. It's got a lot of issues that aren't worth the colors in my opinion. Now, if these colors were reformulated to their old formula or just a little bit firmer where they're still soft, they're still pigmented, but they're not this so soft that they're just flying all over the place. These are essentially like, they feel like an actual lightly pressed pigment. They don't feel like an eyeshadow pan. They feel so flimsy almost that they'll just wisp away at any moment. And to me, is it worth paying $42 for? Probably not for colors you could dupe out with any other brand. It's totally up to you though. I do love Anastasia, and you guys saw me at the start of this video all doe-eyed and excited for this tutorial, and I'm just a little disappointed. And when I say a little, I mean a lot. I know it's kind of a negative video, and I know that there's like this animosity going around right now between people who love Anastasia and people who are having struggles with this palette. But just know that every single person I talked to today, all 4 of my friends that are all social media influencers, every single one I talked to is a huge fan of ABH. And we all are. We all love Anastasia. We only wish them well. We love all their palettes. We've supported them endlessly online. Brow products, palettes. It guts us as well as it guts you that this palette was just a miss. Unfortunately, there's just something about it that just didn't do it for me. So let's get back to the regular outro when I actually looked good a couple hours ago. Pew! Well, I hope this review was somewhat helpful for you guys, and I hope that it helped you sort of narrow down if you want this or not. Apparently, this is going to be a product that is not limited edition. It is a part of the permanent collection like Modern Renaissance, so you don't just stress about not being able to get it right away. I will link it down below, but I believe currently it is out of stock. If you guys click on my link down below and do purchase it through there, then that will be an affiliate link. That means I will get a percentage of the sale, but you don't pay more for that sale. It just is like a commission link. Like, hey, I told you about this, I'm gonna get 10% of it, or 5, or whatever that happens to be at that moment in time. I don't know what it's gonna be. But I hope you guys like this makeup look that I did with it. I hope you guys liked the video. I hope it was in-depth enough for you, and I hope that it helped you out in some way, shape, or form. If you guys are not yet subscribed, make sure you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. I put out new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I also do little bonus videos here and there. Right now, I'm in the middle of doing a giveaway for the MAC Lips box, which is a 2-drawer box with lip liners and 20 different assorted lip products. So if you guys want to enter that giveaway, the video for the giveaway will be linked up here, and then also the giveaway link will be in the description of this video, so you guys can click on that. That's currently running from July 29th until August August 5th. All the information is in that video if you guys want to know more about it, but make sure that you guys do sign up for that because it's gonna be a good one. You guys want to win that package for sure. Also, if you guys have not yet, make sure you hit like on this video and let me know what you guys want me to review next. If you have any palettes, if you guys have tried this, did you like it? Are you let down by it? Are you super stoked about it? Also, if you guys are not yet, make sure you follow me on all my other social media stuff. Everything is Raw Beauty Christy. I thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you at my next video. Bye! Hey guys, every video, never once do I get it in the first one. Hey guys, today I am doing the long-awaited, is it long-awaited? It's been about less than a week, so. Okay, so I was just doing the math on these eyeshadows. So this palette retails for $42. There are 14 shades in there, and that makes each shade $30 per eyeshadow. Okay, so I just did the math, and this palette retails for $42. That being said, there are 14, I just did the math and this palette retails for $14. What? I fucking wish. I just did the math and this palette retails for $42. I did the math. No, I can't say that again. Oh my God, Chrissy, stop. So I just did the math and this palette retails for $42. Excuse my husband's Acacia Strain shirt. I'm wearing this because we put all of our laundry in the wash this morning. My husband and I went and got coffee. As we were walking in the door, he grabbed the hose to spray something off the porch and he pointed it at me and he was like, "Ooh, I just have the strongest urge to spray you right now." And I'm like, don't do it. If you spray me, I will throw this coffee in your face. One thing you need to know about me, I very rarely get angry. When I do though, I rage. I have this weird thing. If water sprays on me, if water gets anywhere near me when I'm dry, I am furious. Even if I'm in the shower and you pour a cup of water on me, let's say, furious. I don't know what it is, but I go Red Ross.
Screamed at him, turned all red? Red Ross!
He couldn't not do it. He was holding the hose in his hand, he was pointing it at me and I could just see it in his eyes and I'm like, don't do it, don't. And he was like, and I told him, I will coffee bomb you. Like, if you do this to me, you are getting this all over you. And he was like, he just couldn't help himself. It was like a little kid, you can tell him not to touch it and they're like, eh. He sprayed me and I took his coffee and I just bashed it right into him. We had just bought it too. And then he got so mad that he drenched me from head to toe with the hose. You guys, I had just put on the only outfit I had clean. I had just done my hair. The door was locked, so I couldn't get in the house as I'm just being pelted with the hose. That's the longest explanation ever of why I'm wearing his band t-shirt, because I have nothing else to wear right now. All right, and this is the second row of swatches. We have hello, thank you. No, focus you bitch. Oh my God, it just, I purposefully, part of the past, but no, feel the future. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with, all right, I'm going to do something. And that intrigues the shit out of me, and I hope it doesn't ruin this entire eye look. Maybe I won't do that, actually. I have to go out of the house today. I am not going to do that today. Never mind. Okay, so all right, so I just did the rest of my eye. What? It removes from the initial place that it removes it from the center, the initial place that it was placement. Nope. Come on. Focus, you bitch. I'm gonna put it right here, okay? No, you need to focus. This is important. You can see. Bitch, focus. Why? Focus. Thank you. You can see. My other modern renaissance, All right, well, I hope this review was somewhat helpful for. Okay, that was rude and hurtful. That means that I will get a percentage.